Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty interesting stuff to go and talk about. This is more in regards to the Xbox, where we kind of have to go give some credit, or credit's due. The Xbox Series X has actually had a phenomenal month that has been doing very well. Although when it comes to the whole console fights back and forth between the PlayStation 5 and Xbox, we always do kind of say the demand kind of somewhat leans more towards the PlayStation 5. Mainly due to like the amount of sales that have already been done, as well as the overall numbers of just like third-party sellers, as well as also the price points too. But the Xbox Series X, believe it or not, has still been doing absolutely phenomenal. So I want to go talk about this because there's actually brand new information that just came out in regards to the sales numbers, and all the other good stuff flowing on in. And well, as you guys can probably go and tell by the title or my demeanor and everything I'm saying, the Xbox actually did surprisingly well. So especially when it comes to all these people that are trying to always argue that the PlayStation 5 is better or the Xbox is better, at least as of this past month, it does seem like the Xbox has been doing a little bit better. So we have a lot of stuff to go talk about for this video as well. And as always, when it comes to these things, always be nice in the comment section. Not the biggest deal, it's always kind of cool. And you know, sometimes you gotta go give ups to PlayStation, sometimes you gotta give some ups to Nintendo, sometimes you gotta give some props to PlayStation, and sometimes you need to go and cry, depending on if you have your console or not. So it kind of just depends. As well, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. As well, for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway, Amazon links down below for the PS5 Digital Console Controller. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream as well, as I mentioned. We also have the Twitter giveaway down below, so make sure you guys join that one on up. And we have the Webull and Coinbase as well. And let's go and dive in the video. So as you guys have probably heard or probably been seeing, we've been seeing still these past few days, and especially as of recently, Best Buy actually having the consoles all fully available. I always keep on linking the Best Buy link down below in case you just want to pick it up on a retail and go easily get your Xbox console. But these past few, probably I'd say like 3-4 weeks especially, where we've had these really big retailers, where we had Walmart basically have it in stock for about 2 weeks. We saw GameStop with their bundles available for about a few weeks. We have also been seeing Ant Online that probably still has stock available as of now. Amazon was in stock for multiple days in a row, and pretty much a lot of these big retailers had stock, which is why I'm even mentioning Best Buy, because if you guys want to go and literally buy an Xbox literally right this second, on both of them, Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S, they are available. And I do keep on mentioning the links down below because we have like technically an affiliate link for Best Buy, but mainly just because it's like one of the easiest things to go and buy. Like if I want to go get one literally right this second, I just have to go press add to cart, and I can literally go pick it up on Saturday, April 30th in my own local GameStop store, or as well, could literally just go and pick it up tomorrow for an Xbox Series S. And you can't go and say the same thing about the PlayStation, whether it's the disc or digital. And I think that's kind of a big distinction, that how the stock has been being made and how much has been being produced, as well as the demand all put together, kind of showing that the Xbox is closely getting closer and closer to the demand and the supply kind of equaling on out. Or like right now, the PlayStation demand is still higher and the supply is slowly trickling on up. Like, don't get me wrong, it's slowly going up there, but still it is a big difference compared to the Xbox, as I just said. So if you guys literally want to go buy one right now, you guys literally could open Best Buy. But the big thing to know is, this is how the Xbox has actually been winning this really big console fight, especially for the past 1 or 2 weeks, and also 1 or 2 past months, but especially this past weeks, because literally it's available up and like Best Buy, like right this second. Boom. But we've actually had some very intriguing notes to go mention too as well, which we have the updated hardware sales from March 2022. And as you guys know, typically, usually takes a little while for the information, all the numbers, all the big retailers, and everything else to kind of come up with the proper information. But we actually do have the Xbox finally having one of the best March sales in like the entire in 11 years. It's been doing phenomenal, which actually has been bringing even more money than both the Switch or the PlayStation 5. And obviously, the Nintendo Switch is still just the powerhouse of selling consoles nonstop somehow still, although because due to the price points, the Xbox Series X being slightly better, they technically have the highest sale price. It's like if you sell like 1 million Switches and 1 million Xbox Series X's, the Xbox Series X is obviously going to make a lot more money because it's extra $200 per console. But right now, this has been almost kind of monumental news, because as of these past probably 16 months, the PlayStation's always been #1. And for some odd reason, these past 2 months, it's been a very dry console restock side. Now, obviously, we've been having more and more consoles showing on up, don't get me wrong, for the PlayStation 5, but right now we're kind of more celebrating the Xbox. Like, the Xbox actually did phenomenally well. And that's once again kind of because you can literally go buy it right this second at like Best Buy. Like you can literally just use the link down below and buy it. Like people have been doing that throughout this past like few days. It's been phenomenal. It's just cool. So basically for this one, we have good news for Xbox. So I'll start off over here from The Verge. If you're trying to buy a new video game console in 2022, then you probably already know that they're still in short supply. While the Nintendo Switch, including the new Switch OLED model and the Xbox Series S, are generally available throughout the United States, it's a little harder to get something more powerful. And the NPD data to release today reflects that. So this is all information up to date the best we can. Between the Xbox Series S remaining in stock consistently, and I can actually go and test that. Like, looking to this point, Amazon, in stores, Walmarts, online, Targets, wherever you guys want to go look, or even as I keep mentioning, Best Buy, you could literally go and get an Xbox Series S, like right now. Like literally you could probably just, like if you wanted to, you'd have it by tomorrow. And then the same Xbox Series X, although it might be a little bit more limited, like you can see for the 5 days, it's literally there. Like they've been pumping and churning out stock the best they can. So between this one, all of your two as well, and even the article itself has mentioned the Best Buy app in the morning or checking local stores for them, Microsoft consoles led in terms of hardware dollars for March 2022 and the entire fourth quarter of the United States. So I want to go push this a little bit because all this information is also in the UK, but as well also in the United States. Like sometimes we get the UK data a little bit first and it kind of goes into the United States. So basically this entire year so far, and it kind of does make sense because I do think there's been a lot more on the drier periods. Like I can probably name a lot more of like a 2 to 3 week period where there's not as many PlayStation 5 restocks, and I might go dedicate a whole entire video towards that as well because it's slightly different, but overall the Xbox is doing great. Like I just really think the fact that Microsoft has invested extra money towards making sure that they have as much Xbox Series X production as they possibly can, and paying that extra money for the semiconductors and paying for priority has really been paying off. Now, as of right now, the PlayStation 5 is still selling more consoles, but it really is impressive seeing this because once again, as I said 5 times throughout this video, they're in stock like right this second. And like that's almost magical for us to know. So Nintendo's convertible game system still sold the most units for both time periods, but the higher Xbox prices, as we mentioned before, when it's now also discounted in PlayStation 5 supply, that still can meet demand combined to snap a streak of either the Switch or PS5 topping all the list over the last year or so. Now, once again, I just think it's kind of overdue. Like the Xbox has always been around. We all know about Xbox. We could all appreciate Xbox. But they've never really been like a front runner. And at least they are finally this past like few weeks finally getting that. Now, it may not be the best over time because if Sony can somehow lock in even more production and make more consoles, obviously people would probably be more pushing towards the PlayStation 5, especially with a lot more bigger games on the horizon coming soon, no pun intended. But when it comes to that stuff, I do think whenever the next Xbox big bump up, like maybe they do their next big conference and they mention maybe new AAA games in the works in the background from Microsoft Studios, I think the demand's going to be flying even more. But it's going to be probably met because anyone who really want to get their Xbox will probably have their console at this point in age, which is awesome. It's really cool to see. So ran through actually Matt Piscatellis, who we always mention a lot in this channel, and his comments as of April 25th. The US NPD HW, the Xbox hardware unit and dollar sales in March 2022 set new all-time March highs for the platform. Previous Xbox best were set in March 2011, units in March 2014 in dollars. The US NPD Premium Games Elden Ring repeated as a best-selling game of the month as dollar sales experienced double-digit percentage dollar sales growth compared to its February 2022 launch. Elden Ring ranked first in dollar sales among tracked titles across PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. So as you guys can go and see, like this is pretty much a record that has not been broken in a very long time, at least in the regards of the online life, where the Xbox actually has been coming in clutch. They have huge amounts of proper console numbers being sold, and to the point where they are trying their best to flood the market the best they can and try their best to meet up with demand. And as I've kind of talked about before, we may, as I mentioned, cover up in a separate video, the PlayStation 5 is just kind of slacking in terms of production. So you have to give credit where credit's due. The Xbox has done phenomenally well. So according to the stats released by the NPD video game analyst over here, the industry hardware sales were 515 million in March, which was actually kind of down 24%, and 1.2 billion in Q1, which is also once again, funny enough, down from 15%. So it was actually kind of surprising because we actually had more consoles and more restocks last year than we even had over here, even though the Xbox has been doing very well. And on top of that too, despite that, this is the best March results for Xbox hardware sales in a long time, with the most total units sold since March 2011 and the most revenue for March since 2014, just a few months after the original Xbox One was released. So like I said, you got to give some clap towards Xbox itself. Now, obviously, there is like that big, the big disparity in terms of total amounts being sold, and the PlayStation 5 has kind of been slacking a little bit, although these past few days have been pretty nice for their restocks. It's very intriguing to go and see how the Xbox has still been doing so well. So big congrats to them. And as well, if you guys want to go pick one up, we have the Best Buy link down below if you just want to go pick up an Xbox yourself and join them on the, I guess, beating the PlayStation side. So if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. As well, for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway, Amazon links down below for the PS5 Digital Console Controller. Twitter and Twitch stream as well, link down below. And sign up for Weeble, sign up for Coinbase, and the Twitter giveaway as well down below. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. Leave your thoughts and comments down below.